So, what if your vote was completely unhackable? I mean, really unhackable. And what if proving you are who you say you are, well, what if it required nothing more than just you? Today we're going to dig into a pretty wild idea for democracy. It's all about securing our elections with biometric identity. But here's the real kicker, the game changer. It's designed to do it without ever storing your personal data. Sound interesting? Okay, let's get into it.
Just think about it for a second. Imagine voting without needing an ID card, without typing in a password, without looking up a registration number. The key to casting your ballot, it isn't something you have, it's something you are. We're talking about a system where your identity is proven by your own unique biology. That's how your vote becomes truly, undeniably, verifiably yours. Pretty cool, right?
Okay, so why even think about such a massive change? I mean, what's wrong with what we have? Well, the material we're looking at points to what it calls a single fatal flaw that, really undermines trust in even the most advanced election systems that we're using today.
In that flaw, it's centralization. I mean, just think about how it all works right now. You've got voter lists on central servers, you've got ballots being tallied by officials in these centralized locations, your identity is checked against these huge government databases. Every single one of those points, it's a target. It's a single point of failure where mistakes can happen, where data could be manipulated, or, where fraud can creep in. And all of that just chips away at our faith in the final result.
So this table really lays out the massive shift we're talking about. Look at identity. We go from paper IDs in these big central registries to cryptographic keys that are derived from you, from your biometrics. Then there's vote counting. We're moving away from a slow, sometimes kind of murky human process to something that's automated, happens in real time, and can be verified by literally anyone. And the fraud risk? Whoa. It basically plummets from being vulnerable to tampering and, ghost voters to something that is mathematically almost impossible to forge. But really, the bottom line here tells the whole story. The entire model of trust flips on its head. We stop having to trust institutions and people, and instead, we start trusting pure mathematics.
And this all leads us to the core idea, the big proposal here. A system where your digital identity is actually truly your own. It's rooted in your biology. This is what's known as self-sovereign identity. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. You own it, you control it, and no one else can use it but you.
Okay, so the tech that makes this all possible is called a Deterministic Biometric Wallet. I know, that's a mouthful. Let's just break it down. The most important word in there is generate. See, instead of storing your fingerprint, the system uses it like a master password. It generates your unique voting keys completely from scratch, right on the spot every single time you need them. It's a huge difference. Your body isn't unlocking a vault where your keys are stored. Your body is the key.
All right, I know what you're probably thinking right now because this is where the privacy alarms usually start blaring. Wait a minute, if my fingerprint is being scanned, isn't that a huge security risk? And you're right to ask. But the system described in our source material is actually designed from the ground up to prevent exactly that. So, how does it pull it off? How does it work without totally compromising your privacy? Let's walk through it.
It all happens in 4 quick steps. First, your biometric gets scanned, your fingerprint, your face, whatever. But, and this is absolutely crucial, the system immediately throws away the image. It doesn't want it, doesn't need it. Instead, it goes straight to step 2. It just pulls out some key mathematical patterns. We're not talking the picture, just data points, like the distance between features. Step 3 is where the real magic happens. This data gets fed into what's called a one-way cryptographic hash. Think of it like a blender. You put ingredients in and get a smoothie, but there's no way to turn that smoothie back into the original fruit. It's a one-way street. It's irreversible. And then finally, in step 4, that super secure, irreversible code is what generates your unique voting keys.
Okay, so after all that technical stuff, it all boils down to one simple question, right? The one that really truly matters for anyone even thinking about this kind of tech. Is my personal biological data actually safe?
Well, this chart lays it all out plain and simple. Just look at the list on the left, what the system never stores. Your actual fingerprint image, your photo, your name, none of it. That data is used for maybe a split second to create that one-way hash and then poof, it's gone. So what is stored on the public record? Just look at the right. It's totally anonymous stuff. Your public key, a simple little flag that says, yep, verified citizen, and your voting area. That's it. It completely separates the act of proving that you are you from storing who you are.
Okay, so now that we've got a grip on the mechanics, on how this whole thing actually works, let's zoom out a bit. Let's talk about the real-world implications. Because this isn't just some techie upgrade.
The source material we're drawing from calls this a new social contract. It's an idea that could fundamentally change our entire relationship with our digital identities.
And the benefits for you and me in our everyday lives, they become pretty obvious pretty fast. Think about it. No more trying to remember a million different passwords. No more that feeling of dread when you lose your wallet or your ID card. No more waking up to another headline about a massive database hack that's leaked millions of people's private info. In this kind of world, your identity can't be stolen because, well, it's you. It's physically part of you. You could vote securely, privately, from any device, anywhere, just by being yourself.
You know, there's a quote from the source document that just perfectly sums up the philosophical core of this whole thing. It really gets to the heart of the matter. It describes this huge shift, a move away from a system where we have to put our blind faith in human institutions that can, make mistakes, and toward one where fairness and security are literally baked right into the code. When the rules of the game are just transparent algorithms, the power really does shift back to the individual citizen.
And that really leaves us with a pretty profound final question to chew on. For centuries, right, we've built these massive, complex institutions all for one reason, to create trust between people. But now, in a world that is becoming more digital by the second, could it be that the universal, verifiable language of mathematics, could that become the ultimate foundation for trust? Could math be the future of democracy? That's a question really worth thinking about.